One of the biggest concerns for most businesses is how do I make more money as a business? And of course, for this to happen, the best approach is to market your business effectively. And today we'll discuss some of the reasons why your marketing is not working. Hi, my name is Victoria, and my co host is,
Steve,
and this is the Marketing Matters podcast. Wow,
welcome.
so Steve,
Mm.
um, how has your week been, or any exciting news or something that you have learned in the past week that you would want us to learn also?
Well, apart from the fact that there's a whole everyday AI keeps changing and it's even disrupting the disruptors. That is
Yeah.
that is something that I find that is always intriguing to me. But what I learned this week was that for most people, how you engage them and or how you get people to speak or how you get people to open up is most people just want to feel like they are heard and to feel like they're not being judged. So maybe in your interactions with people you come off as abrasive, you come off as too critical of their decisions and actions. You will never get anybody to open up to you about maybe what you are looking for or what answers you desire. So say maybe you are always the guy who when when you go out with your friends, then they tell you, me, I don't drink. The first question is like, Kwani, what's wrong with you? Like, why don't you drink? You see, even that the way that question is, you have already created an impression that you consider their choice as wrong,
Yeah.
but you have not asked. Okay, so why don't you drink? But you know the way, even how you intonate your question. Why why don't you drink? Or sometimes you start even telling them the reasons why drinking is okay instead of trying to understand. Okay, why don't they drink?
Yeah.
You might even probe further instead of saying why don't you drink. The question could be like, is it a personal choice? Is it a religious choice? And if they tell you maybe they're not keen or they're not interested in telling you, you can tell, okay, it's okay. But if you still think that drinking is okay, you can tell them, okay, me, this is why I drink one, two, three. And if it is not good for you, then it's fine. But don't look as if you are come off as a person who is judgmental or who is not keen or who is only interested in their point of view. So that's something I learned, and this even works in the workplace. That was just a light explanation, but even in the workplace, I remember we were trying to gather some feedback from staff about something that we were trying to do. And what I realized is, for most people say one thing and they sometimes mean another, because I don't know, I think it's just how people are wired. Most people don't like upsetting other people, so they'll tell you something you want to hear because they don't want to have that confrontation of why. Maybe because they perceive you to be judgmental. So when you engage them in a manner that makes them feel comfortable that whatever they share with you is either not going to be judged or you are open to even criticism, you will find that you can learn more about yourself and even about what problem you're trying to solve. But yes, stop asking people why they don't drink or what they do for fun. Thank you.
Wow, that is interesting. Yeah, for me, my week has been so busy, and there is one thing that I learned is one of the things that I take home this week is stick to what you know and build on it. That is something that I learned this week, and I learned it through a client that I met, and he deals with yogurt and milk, and he was just trying to explain his field. You know, as a person who's I don't like milk personally, so but now when you hear someone explaining milk
Please don't tell that to your
passionately.
client.
No, like I'm saying, I'm not a fan. I had explained to her I don't take milk, but she was explaining so many things, benefits of yogurt and milk, so passionately that that we take for granted. You know, like for example, when you go in the online space, you hear so many people mentioning that when you reach at the age of 35 and above, as women, you are not supposed to be taking milk. And he was trying to explain to me how much women, that is a wrong perception, because women, we require more calcium as we age. That's when, if you don't do that, then by the time you reach 40, 50, your bones start to uh, what they start having such noise, because they are fighting,
You are
they
creaking.
are yeah, they are clicking. They start having friction towards each other because you're not taking enough calcium. And the best food that will give you calcium is milk. And she was telling me that even fermented milk now is the best. So I was just like, I this field is so much to learn that I don't even have time to learn about. So let me stick to what I know. And even as we were talking, we even mentioned the age of AI. Like, there's so much AI that is going on, but sticking to what you know and building the AI in what you know is what is going to keep you at pass. So that was something that was very interesting
So
over
the
the
lesson
weekend.
is stick to what you learn. Stick to what you
Stick to what you know and build on it.
stick to what you know and
Yeah,
build on it.
so
That's a nice man.
if you're a farmer, stick to that and build on it. If there is AI that is coming, how do I use AI in my farming? Don't learn everything, want to know
Or don't
everything.
now start being an AI prompt
Yes,
engineer.
yes.
Learn how to use AI for your
Yes.
agriculture.
Yeah, because
Nice.
you
That's a
you
very
you
nice.
will reach and be confused, because everything is so much. Every field is too wide for you to exhaust on your own. Yeah. Yeah,
That's good.
so, and of course, I'm also excited about the coming week, because uh, I had started online classes, training on online classes, and then I paused because I got overwhelmed. But now I want to resume the classes, so I've just been finding ways on how I can be able to get more people to come on board. So next week is a week to just prepare and make me be more focused. So I'm looking forward to a great year of helping more people, especially small businesses, to grow their businesses in the online space. Yeah, anyway, our focus today is to help businesses, just even as I've mentioned on what I'm doing in the trainings, to make more money online. And there are many people who have joined the online space, and probably you have been doing it wrong, or you have something that you can learn on a daily basis. So today, join us as we discuss on reasons why your
Thing is not working.
reasons why your marketing is not working. And we have several tips that we'll cover, and we'll just go right in. So, Steve, maybe you can start us off the conversation. Yeah,
Okay, I'm still marinating on your advice about sticking to what I know. It's actually a very apt advice, and I would urge anybody who is still not sure whether they should abandon their track. Of course, if you don't like what you're doing, then definitely, by all means, you should leave it. But if you like what you're doing and you're just worried about maybe the evolution of your industry, you would be surprised that probably you can be better served using whatever upskilling yourself or learning more about your business and just
yeah,
doubling down on your strengths and of course avoiding your weaknesses. So yeah, but in terms of now to the topic on why I think most of the brands I see online are struggling to market is I I perceive or I view some of these brands market to the wrong audience. And when I say to the wrong audience, it is that sometimes you can have a good product, but because you've been told probably that this is the audience that would work, or this is the audience that is moneyed, or the audience that consumes your product at the moment, then you end up forcing yourself to just follow the norm and share your branding, your product to the wrong audience. Like say for an example, I don't know why I like using kid stuff. It's not like I'm even a parent, but for a person selling kids, or maybe it's because Vicky owns as another business that she owns, Asha Kids business for selling kids products. So that it's usually the easiest example to come in mind. But say you are a person, a content creator or a business that is catering to kids products. Or let me now try to a different example, things I like cars. Maybe you're a car yard or a car manufacturer, and you okay yeah, a car yard, and you sell cars, and you in your view, maybe your audience, the people that you perceive are people who buy cars are maybe predominantly male. So you are targeting, your audience is probably male, or your audience is everyone, male and women, but your messaging appeals to only the male audience. So I would say that one of the things that I see, especially for business, small businesses, or even middle businesses that are just starting to get online, is the targeting is a bit off. Because when you are trying to sell a product, you have, first of all, if you don't fully understand who your audience is, you will not know how to market to them. So when I talk about, in my view, audience, is it can be the audience, whether the channel you're using is not appealing to that audience, or just the audience you're talking to. So maybe, like I said, you are a business that is selling cars, and you can sell cars to men and women, but maybe based on your sales, again, I always like asking businesses to always rely on their data, even as you go out. When you're selling offline, maybe your biggest clientele was male. When you go online, I would advise you to first deal with the male and then bring the women, because you first has to a product, your strategy has to work as it has been working on offline, even as you now experiment. The beauty with digital marketing is that you can experiment. So I would say, when you go online and then you see the people who are the people who you are appealing to, maybe are the people who are responding to your DMs and whatnot, are female. That doesn't mean that you should change your strategy. It can just say, as address them as they should, but the targeting, the people you are selling those products to, should be male. Now, how does that work? You probably have data on what products or what cars men buy online offline. Now you can bring those content. So maybe you do a video, a review of maybe a masculine car, or a review of a feminine car, but then you add some comical beat, or a car that is perceived to be female, then add a comical bit about how it would work for a man who is bold, or a man who is willing to take chances and whatnot. So then you're still targeting the male. You're just now using whatever is available online to the tools. And like we've talked about in previous audiences, a channel the channel that you use matters, and maybe you can talk about it later. But the audience, if you're appealing to the male, sometimes people get into the temptation of trying to reach out to everyone, and you end up losing your message, because most of the time one message can't appeal to all audiences. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
so true.
audience targeting is sometimes a big hindrance for your success.
Yeah, it's so true. And this is one of the common mistakes. You know, people are always tempted to want to target everyone, because if maybe I'll get someone from here, maybe I'll get someone from this this my potential customer will be here. So it's always good to just accept and narrow down on your audience. Of course, you will get people who are not within your target audience, but they are very few. So if you want to focus more on getting the right customers who would even be able to grow with you, then you will need to target your audience with the different demographics, geographical location preferences, and many more, just as Steve has mentioned. Another common mistake that I've seen also is not having clear goal. And so this is a very common topic. It's a very common statement that is mentioned by every social media manager or a social media agency when they talk to you and they tell you set clear goals. And sometimes it seems so easy, yet sometimes it's not very direct. When you're creating a goal, the best way to create a goal is always to work backwards. Like, think about, what do I want to achieve at the end of the day? Eh? Am I looking at revenue? Am I looking at building my brand? Am I looking at growing following? So there are things that you want to achieve at the end of the road is what will give you a clear goal. If I want to maybe generate more sales, you have to be specific. How much sales do I want to generate? Do I want to, for example, a good goal would be like, I want to increase my monthly revenue by 20% within 3 months. You have to ensure that you have you have made your goals so clear that by the time it reaches the 3 months, you are able to review and be able to say, did I achieve my goal or not? And after writing the goal, this will help you know, okay, then what is my current revenue? Will I be able to achieve within the 3 months? So, what steps do I need to make to achieve that target that I have set? How much do I need to do on the social media to be able to ensure that if I'm, for example, talking about increasing my revenue by 20%, what will that involve? Does it involve creating more content? Does it involve putting budget? So having that clear goal will make you avoid so many mistakes that will make you not focus on whatever you're going to put on the social media platform will fit the the goal that you have set at the beginning before you start posting or creating content or marketing on the platform. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. I would just add on that to say that when you're creating a goal, the best approach would be to have one primary goal and then have two or three secondary goals. So if you're a business, again, back to my car selling business, if my goal is to use social media to sell cars, that as my primary goal, I should have targets. I want to sell one car every week through this social media channel, or I want to sell whatever number of cars you want to sell on the social media channel. And then if I get brand visibility, which can be through followership, engagements, and whatnot, those are my secondary goals. Or alternatively, you're already selling a lot of cars offline, but your main reason to come online is to you have realized maybe that your social or offline customers are demanding that you also be online so that they can just be engaging with you. Some customers love your brand so much that they just want to see you online. They're wondering, how come I'm seeing other competitors and I can't see you online? Sometimes that is just how much uh, uh, resonating you can be with your customers. So I would say it is not wrong to have a brand goal, which is just to grow your marketing, your brand and your followership and whatnot. But if that is your goal, then do not mix it with the other goal of making sales.
Yeah.
Let that be a secondary goal so that every month you are looking at, if my goal was to have 50,000 followers after 6 months and maybe with an additional 10,000 every month after that, that should be what now every day you measure. What are we doing? And what is interesting is, if that is then the goal, it would also define your strategy and your content,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the content for a person who is trying to sell one car a week is different from a person who just wants to grow followers. The person who wants to sell cars, one car a week, would do what are they called, reviews of the car, and try to share why this car is the best for them. Try to tell them whether they have a financing arrangement and whatnot. A person who is just trying to grow business would do probably webinars or do X spaces about car fuel efficiency in your car, or whether electric cars are better than ICE, internal combustion engine cars. So the type of content also you do would dictate would also be dictated by your goal. So be very deliberate about your goal. And if it is sales, it is okay to have a sales goal. Just know that also when you have the sales goals, then your content would then have to heavily push sales in the in the video, which brings me to my other point that I see. And probably maybe I'm jumping the gun, because in my view also a lot of content you see doesn't tell you what they want you to do. Like, you see a video that is a very nice car review, and at the end what they're telling you is engage with us on follow us, like us, and you're thinking, okay, what about why I should buy this car, or what the price of this car is. So there's no clear call to action for most of these videos that you see on social media. I think
Yeah.
people, I don't know why, but for some reason people are afraid of just telling you, guys, I have given you this review, now you can buy, and this is how you can buy this car, or this is how you can we can engage further in terms of if you're serious about buying this car or other cars that I have. So you find that most people will do, even if it's a video. This is my car example so that we can flow. If I'm doing a video, maybe of a review of a car, or I'm telling you about why, assuming this is a crossover, I'm doing a crossover segment. I'm telling you why between a Subaru Forester and a CX5 and a Hyundai CRV, or what's the Toyota variant, a RAV4 is, after I have done that review, I should end that CTA with, So these are the pricing. Of course, when I'm doing the review, I'm giving you the pricing, the fuel efficiency, and whatnot. I should tell you then, if you want to buy any of these cars, or if you're interested about buying any of these cars, reach out to me. Whether it will be a video or a thread, you have to have a clear CTA that somebody feels like, okay, I've consumed this data or this content. The next thing for me is to buy. And when you do that, not everybody who will contact you will buy, but you have an opportunity now to get people to contact you. And even
Yeah.
when people engage with you, they know that the expectation here is that I want to close a sale, not that I am just giving you fuel efficiency and all this content for free. And if that is then that is clear in all your posts, almost all the time, also the people you attract in your DMs will also be the people who want to engage with you in achieving
Yeah.
your goals. So a clear CTA is very call to action is very important for a business doing social media marketing.
Now that we are talking about the call to action, even as you're watching this video, have you subscribed? Just click on
Yes.
the red button below and subscribe to continue getting informative content from us. And also, you can also click on the notification button for you to get reminders anytime we upload a new video. Another reason why I think most people are not marketing right is because we do not monitor or analyze our performance. Our work is just to post content on the social media platform, create content on our websites, do adverts, but our and even if we, when we monitor some of the one way that we only monitor is when we see, am I getting any sales at the end of the day? Yeah, so monitoring and analyzing our performance is very important because they help us improve the content that we're creating online. They help us improve on our budget. They help us learn something and find ways in which you can improve and better our marketing. So track your performance based on the objectives that you set. If you are having a website or an e-commerce site or a shop, then the best way to track that is using Google Analytics. If you're in social media, then we have analytics metrics that have been set on each social media platform that you can use to track your objective. If you're talking about awareness, are you getting more followers? Are you getting more people to view your content? Are you getting, if you're having a video, are you getting more people who are watching your video and to what percentage? So that helps you to be able to track the performance of your marketing. If you're doing adverts, are you getting the goals being achieved? If it's getting more leads, what is the cost of each lead? Are you getting quality leads? So you need to be able to always analyze what is working, what does not work, to measure the success of whatever you're doing on the online platform.
Yeah, that's true, Vicky. And in terms of even the the data and the people being keen on what the platforms are telling them, I think people people follow this data. They just don't probably analyze it, or they don't dig it deeper. Like for
Yeah.
most social media users, even for the clients we've served, most of them will tell you, I know I have 50,000 followers, or they tell you, I know I get an average of course this is just an average based on what they see, that I get maybe 20 queries about my business or my product a day, or I get 10 likes for every video I post. This is like, they'll see that because they engage with that, but that is just at the surface level. What we're talking about in terms of working with your data now is, now you see, I've done maybe 10 posts in a week or in a month, or however way your frequency is. And then the question then, when you analyze, and I am usually very cautious about advising people to, with those vanity metrics, how much your engagement was, or how much people liked your content and whatnot. Especially if that is not your KPI was to do sales. So assuming again your business, you are selling a car, and you do one review every week for a car that you think, with a clear CTA. Remember, you said you do a video. You target the right audience. Maybe you can even, Vicky did a video, in our video, Vicky explained about personas. You can even say maybe you are a gentleman who has just started earning your money. You have 30,000 to spare. that you can, and you want a good car that will also reflect your success. So that is already one of a way you can start your engagement. You've already captured an audience, and somebody is already thinking, okay, I have started my career. I probably have 30,000 to spare. How, what type of card would work for me? And then after that, then you can tell them, talk to me about how to buy this car, and of course, you also offer financing and whatnot. So if you know you have done that and you've captured the audience, your audience right, then the next thing would be, I've done 10 videos of this. The vanity metrics tells me this video was shared to maybe 1,000 or 5,000 people, whether it is on TikTok, on X, or whatever. But the question should be, as you are, in terms of your frequency of these videos, which did the best?
Yeah.
Because it can give you an average of, maybe out of the 10 videos, it'll tell you. And if you're using a CRM tool is like a client relationship management tool. Most businesses might not, but these days it is advisable to have a client relationship management tool, because most businesses these days are on more than one platform. And when you're on more than one platform, you want a business that will allow you, a platform that will allow you to do post and engage with customers easily. So if you have a good CRM tool, it will tell you this post did the best, and it can tell you why. That's now insights, and it can tell you maybe this post was most shared, or this post was the most retweeted if it is X, or this post was had the most engagement in terms of DMs and whatnot. Now, when you have that data, then you come and analyze now the product itself. What was in this content that you think made people engage, or what was in these queries that made people engage? Now, in these queries, you can get that data and realize, most of these guys are saying your video, first of all, maybe somebody was saying your video is not clear, or so others were saying, what is the price? So you realize, okay, this again is data. People think data is just analytics, or the graph that shows the growth. Data is everything you have on your platform. And the beauty of all these platforms, they give you that data. So you realize on the engagements, one video people kept saying, maybe you or you gave a wrong information, or the most predominant thing was the price. Your pricing maybe is wrong, or your pricing is too high. So even that is data. So you realize, okay, maybe even in my marketing strategy, another thing people don't realize about marketing is not only about selling, it is also about gathering intelligence. So you can gather and realize, and maybe people are saying this product is pricey. If you can adjust that pricing, or you can create a, not okay, this might be considered unethical, but you can create an impression that that product is now cheaper than the way it was. If you're selling a product for 2.5 million, and everybody is telling you this product is, if you're running a campaign in Easter, you can say 20% off on our car. Previously 2.5 million, now this is 2.35, and people, and that can also increase or create a lift. But data, like Vicky has said, is a very important element. And data here means understanding and analyzing, not just knowing I have 50,000 followers. What does
Yeah.
50,000 followers mean for you if your goal was to sell cars? Do these 50,000 people translate into sales? And if you are getting 50,000 people and not any sales, then the question could be, is my content wrong? And you can even
Yeah.
do a poll, or even ask your other colleagues, what do you think is the reason why my content is not working? So data is very important. And if you can't make decisions on data, you're all you're bound to fail. I think another thing that I think is very important is content.
Yeah.
In business they say cash is king,
Yes.
but in
Content is
digital
king.
marketing, content is king. You
Yeah.
cannot grow social media organically, or through boost or through promotions, without good content. You can have so much money and boost your content, but if you don't have content that is relevant to your audience or relevant to the people in that platform, you're going to suffer. Again, when you talk about content, it of course we encourage you to use the best tools, like in terms of have a good edited video, it's clear, have your audio working. Like those are the basics. But you don't have to go out of your to overspend on something like maybe hiring the best people to do your creative design and whatnot. But let you at least meet the bare minimum. Let your video be clear, let your audio be clear. When you have that, we can work about maybe getting better in terms of better tools and whatnot. But first of all, have those basics done. Your video is clear, your audio is clear. If you're doing a thread on X or any other platform like email marketing, let your also grammar be concise and clear. Don't have so many stories that somebody is trying to understand what exactly you're getting at, or grammatical errors. When you have grammatical errors, it creates an impression that maybe you're not keen on what you're selling, or you're not even a professional. So you want also to have, if it is content that is written, because most of the time people imagine that only content that works is video. Video works for some platforms. For some platforms, you might do written content like blogs and whatnot. So that content has to be clear first of all, and then it has to be engaging. Like, don't I know people argue, but I'm only selling tax consultancy services. How can I make that interesting? I bet you if you engage us, we can show you on how to make your content engaging. Like, remember that that idea I've shared with you about that car. You can make that content engaging by starting even with teasing. Like, this car, they say this car has a face that only a mother can love. So when you have that already, you have already captured somebody's attention. Like, hey, how ugly is this car that people are talking about? Or they say that only a certain type of people drive this car. But here, I'm here to try to try to persuade you that this car would actually work for this type of audience. So you've made your it is, I know a car and probably I have that bias, or I don't even have that bias, but now I've learned that there is a bias. Maybe I wanted to buy this car, but now people, I've learned from you that this car is associated with a certain type of people, or they say this is a car for politicians. But here is why even those politicians like this car. So you give your, so it you could have easily said, hey, I am selling a Prado TX 4.5 million, mileage like this, 0 to 100, and it would still be considered content. But would you have gotten as much a reaction as if you had started with, this is a car notorious for overlappers? And then, but you can be the the one that stands out by being the first Prado TX driven on the right side of the road. And then now you start saying, so I have this business, I have this product and whatnot. So that it is the same it's the same product, but you've just shared it in a very different engagement. So I'm trying to just help you appreciate that whatever content you're selling, whether you're selling a complex product or whether you're selling a simple product, the way your content is put out there, like I've said, it's basic. You have to have good audio, you have to have good grammar, you have to have good video quality. And that doesn't mean that you go and spend an arm and a leg to get the best lighting and whatnot. Just have that
Yeah.
first of all clear, and then now the quality of your content would really matter. Because when you're on social media, again, we've talked about this some time back about the concentration span. You probably have just 1 minute to get that person to continue reading. If that person can't read you in the first, in fact, 30 seconds, if in the first 30 seconds I don't feel like I need to continue watching this video, you've already lost me, which can also come up with the can also be detrimental to your brand, especially if you're doing a complex product. So you want, if your product requires more explanation, to capture me in the first one, and you capture me not by telling me what I already know, by trying to, first of all, maybe you can be funny. If you have a sense of humor, you can be funny. I've seen a lot of people selling complex product in a very funny, or people explaining a very complex thing on a topic, but they did it in such a light way that I was like, you know what? I listened to this 1 hour video about this complex topic. But yeah, just to wind up on that, content is king, and you have to really work towards offering something that people would want to read or to watch.
Yeah, that is so true. And even as we talk about the content, I think one of the areas that lacks in many people is, now where do I get the content? How do I share the content? Which content do I create? So if you are creating content on the social media platform, then the social media platform that you are in, you need to be there. You need to know what is going on. You need to check what are people doing in this platform. Are they doing trends? Are they doing short videos more than carousels? What are they? Which conversation is going on? Are they focusing on hashtags or more, or just doing videos without putting more description? So you need to learn what is happening in that platform. Now, after knowing it, then that's what will help you grow with the content that you create there, because now you'll be following what is working in that platform. Algorithms keep changing, and for you to know what is working and what's not working is for you to stay there and see, okay, this video, it got more views this than mine. Why did it get more views? Because maybe the person had a good hook, or maybe the person was asking questions and me, I was doing a conversation. So you need to have to be there on the platform to learn what is working. Yeah, and lastly, from my end, One mistake that I know we also make as marketers is on advertising. Sometimes we invest so little, sometimes we invest too much, sometimes we don't know how to advertise, we advertise wrongly. So advertising is one of the areas that is causing many people to lose in business. It's one of the strategies that has to be implemented in any business using the online platform. Some even are not even doing the advertising. You just work on organic marketing and you feel that that is what should work. But anyone in the online space and you are a business, and even you have set your profile or whatever you're posting on online as a business profile, just know that the platforms understand that you're supposed to be making money and therefore they expect you to pay ads for you to be able to generate more income. Of course, you can grow organically, but at a slow rate. But you need to also invest on advertising. So you can either use adverts when you're promoting a new product. Are you launching a new product? Are you just starting out as a business? You can do an advert because your reach is going to be very limited. Are you having photos, posters, or videos that are performing well organically? You can boost those photos and videos to engage or reach more people. Do you want to sell your products or services at as fast as possible? Then you can speed it up with advertising. Do you want to see if your product is working for the people that are buying your product or service? Maybe you're just introducing a new product, or you have a product that you're not sure if people are getting are having concerns or they love your product. You can advertise. Do you want to generate more leads? You can advertise. So you can't escape the route of advertising because it allows you to learn your business so fast. It allows you to be able to know to reach your goals so fast. And the main thing is just to understand, what is my goal? Am I marketing right? Am I reaching my audience? And the only way to do that is through advertising. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing I'll say about advertising is when you start it, you better be consistent because um, it's just how it works. Whether when you decide
Yeah.
to do adverts, then don't do once and then stop and then come back again. The cycle, even in marketing, when you're running campaigns, you usually want to be consistent in whatever strategy you're adopting. And if advertising is your strategy, then you want to carry it on, even if it is not heavily. Like the budget you start in January is not as heavy as the one you end in December, but just
Yeah.
be always on that platform. I'd say even in ending for me that um, authenticity also is a problem with most content, most brands or most businesses, and people see through it. Like if I see your content is you're doing your content the way I know somebody famous is doing it, or the way I know another competitor is doing it, it sometimes puts other people off. For some people, it can for those who don't know your competitor, it can be something that is not a problem. But for most users, they don't like to feel like you are a fake or you're trying to copy another brand. Be authentic, even if your style is to just do monologues or to do very long content about your product. There is an audience that resonates with that, and if that's the path you've chosen, then please don't feel like you need to also do short content. Of course, it is advisable to experiment on that type of content, but be authentic. And
Yeah.
especially in terms of copying and following trends just because everybody is doing them. I'm not a fan of trends, especially if your business is not if it's a business that is not directly aligned with that trend. Please try to avoid it and um,
Yeah.
and just keep off and do. One of our clients I know is very keen on has does not is not famous for following trends, and his business um has grown leaps and bounds, especially because now everybody knows when they go to that platform, they just go for getting maybe this product. The client is called Abojani, and you can even see a website that one we are supporting them on the website development and management solutions. So maybe you can even share the link to the website. It's one of the best websites you'll see out there. But that's just on the side. But authenticity in terms of your content, and then another thing that can help you be authentic is to have testimonials. So if you're a business that maybe again sells cars, cars these days, if you have been online, car, car car dealers these days are going through stuff. So
Yeah.
if you've been online and you know there's your industry is affected by a trust deficit, you want to have testimonials. Let people who you've sold cars to, or again, sorry, I'm using this car business, but I like you to follow the thread. But if you're selling cars, let the people who have done, if it is through a written testimonial, if it's through a video testimonial of what you, of the car you sold, or the experience they had selling you being sold the car, or if it's them just coming to your defense when people are saying you are right, because also competitors can come and start a slander campaign against you. So you can call on to your. By then, something we've not talked about is handling crisis on social media and being the main character of the day. We can have that conversation later. But sometimes when you have competitors bashing you or using other people to bash you through smear campaigns, when you have people coming out and saying, "Hey, I have dealt with this guy and he sold me this car and it was the best experience. I've not had problems with this car," that can help, especially in a situation where people are lacking credibility, and that is any business. Even if you're just selling solutions or services, when people say, I this guy's offered me digital marketing services, so this guy offered me consultancy on tax matters, and I was actually able to evade, to not evade, but I was actually able to solve one or two issues with with KRA or whatever tax agency you're dealing with. That adds credibility and adds authenticity to your brand. So that is something that I would urge any brand, whether big or small, to always embrace, being authentic, whether in your content and also having people do testimonials to just add credibility to whatever you're saying that you do on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's so true. Testimonials and reviews. Wow, and
Yes.
just a final side tip: be patient. Trust the process. Whether you're doing organic or paid marketing, whether you're doing both, just be patient and allow the process to take place. If it takes you 1 week to be able to convert a client in a normal circumstance, don't expect you to convert within 1 day unless you're investing more money or you're putting in more time on the social media platform. So just be patient and trust the process. So implement
Yeah.
at least two of these strategies and share with us your experience, and we'll
Or
be
all.
really glad. Because you're starting out, we'll say maybe two. Uh, and you just share your experience either on the comment section, or you can also share with us at info@ashagroupLTD.com. And if you have queries, we'll also be sure to respond. And also, if you're too busy or you find it overwhelming, consider seeking professional help. And we run a digital agency that you can partner with us on this journey. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.